Thank you for inviting me to address the Free Colored Ladies Society for helping hands to our colored seamen on this anniversary and outreach occasion. My name is Thessalonia Williams, and I'm a free woman. I was born a slave, but we are all free now. I come from a long line of seamen, including my daddy, my husband, and my father, who has followed along, my son, who has followed along in his father's footsteps. And I'm here tonight to address you, to tell you how they all helped us along the road to freedom. Well, I'm going away to leave you, oh, shallow ground. Yes, I'm going away to leave you, oh, shallow ground. My husband Levi, Leviticus Ezra Williams, was already a free man when I met him. It was on a Thursday, November 14th, 1829. I wasn't free then, but I was apprenticed as a seamstress in Carlisle Taylor there in Norfolk, Virginia. We made soldier and sailor uniforms, and the ladies loved my fancy dress routine. So there I was one morning, sewing a beautiful moire silk dress, when I heard right outside this silly little song my daddy used to sing when we was little.
You ain't nothing but a humbug.
So they say, so they say.
You ain't nothing but a humbug.
That's all I know.
Catfish roll on a huckleberry vine.
So they say, so they say.
Catfish roll on a huckleberry vine.
That's all I know. Then the man who had been singing walked in the door, and the sun walked in with him. He had a glow, brown shiny skin, shiny white teeth, and eyes too big for a man.
Excuse me, man.
And I missed the rest. I was so busy staring and feeling, and well, when I come to myself, and I realized I had been staring, and he was smiling at that. Well, it's a good thing you couldn't see me blush, because I sure did get hot all over. He said his name was Levi, and he asked me again.
Ma'am, what I'm trying to say is I think we need a new line in this coat.
Nice, sturdy canvas, good tar coat, and a good flannel liner. I felt the thickness. And I tried to be casual, but I said, you may need to replace this line. And I'm thinking to myself, is this him? You see, my daddy, who was a boatman himself, as I mentioned, had told me to be on the lookout for a man who would be delivering a book. And since my daddy was over to the Reverend Nat Turner's plantation, he was loaned out there, I asked him what was going on and what was in that book. Well, he didn't tell me nothing, but he did give me that look. So I didn't ask him nothing else, but I sure was thinking. And now, days and weeks go by, nothing. Now, is this him? The delivery man? Well, my master must have seen that I was all flummoxed, because he got up and started to come on over.
It's not that urgent, man. I can come back. But listen, I'm new in town. Do you know somewhere where I could stay?
Well, all the men stay at Mr. Buford's, so naturally I sent him there. And I stayed next door to Miss Viola's. So the next morning, when I see him, we commence to chatting and taking a measure of each other.
Yes, ma'am, I'm a free man. Ever since the war in 1812, both the British and the Americans allowed colored soldiers their freedom. just in exchange of fighting. And the British paid more money, but I didn't want to be away from my kinfolk that long, you know. So I fought for the American side. Worked with old Denmark Vesey a few times. That's right. Before the quarantine laws, and you know, they placed down there in South Carolina. They'd lock a man up as soon as he come on shore.
You do Denmark Vesey?
Oh yeah.
My daddy told me about him leading that rebellion there in Charleston. Oh my goodness. And my daddy, he's a boatman, he's a slave, but he got his own crew, and he deliver and pick up all over the Chesapeake Bay in his bug-eye. Yes, sir. They don't have the quarantine laws here yet. And right now, my daddy's over to the plantation where that Reverend Nat Turner is at.
Oh.
That Nat Turner, he sure can preach.
Hey, that's what I hear. It's a good thing they don't have them quarantine laws here. But I gotta get back to my ship. Let's talk later. The book that I have in the lining of my coat, that's for the Reverend Turner.
Well, I drew in my breath because my father, my brothers too, they don't tell me nothing. But now here I was all up in the inside, and I was also late for work. So I had to run on off too. My sewing wasn't too good that day, my mind was so full. And when I got back home that evening, there he was waiting for me on the porch. He handed me his coat right off. Ain't nobody pay attention to that because everybody knowed I was the best seamstress around. And we was all trying to pick up a little extra side job. I went directly to my room and picked out the stitches of that lining, and then I started and extracted from that lining the pages that was wrapped in that set oilcloth. And I picked some, and I read some. David Walker's appeal to the colored citizens of the world, but in particular, and very expressly, to those of the United States of America. Now that was a fancy title. And what Mr. Walker had to say was something else again. They want us for their slaves, and think nothing of murdering us. It is no more harm for you to kill a man who is trying to kill you than it is for you to take a drink of water.
When thirsty.
When thirsty. Put me to mind of that verse in Exodus. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, and tooth for tooth. Well, that next morning, when I gave Sailor Levi back his coat, why, he walked me all the way to the shop, grinning and talking about where he'd been and what he'd done.
Oh, yeah, I've been all over. Charleston, Mobile, Haiti. I've even been over to London. The big ships, small boats, petty augers, druggers.
Most things I couldn't pronounce.
All of it. You know, I've been with mixed crews, colored crews, both free and slave, also black, white, and even been with some foreigners. You know, I even been out on a whaler once, but only once.
He said he liked the responsibility. If a man did a job well, he went on ahead and did it, and he got respect for it too.
We was gone too long though, almost 2 years. A man wouldn't want to be away from his family that long.
He said that as we was parting, he looked me in the eye real serious, and I looked back. A few days later, when my daddy came to court, I introduced them, and Levi delivered that book. And then...
Sir, I would be honored if you would allow me to have your daughter's hand in marriage.
Just like that. My daddy didn't say nothing, he just studied him a while. Then he looked at me. I was beaming. He gave Levi a short nod and a small smile. They'll teach him from South Carolina, so they say, so they say. He come home to marry Dinah, that's all I know. when my mama first seen Levi, she said, "Thessalonian, you done got yourself a man." And we moved into a little house in town when Levi come ashore. Didn't cause too much fractious, him being free and me slave. We had neighbors like that. He would have bought me outright, but I told him he needed to get his mama and sister out of their situation first, because it was a little more precarious than mine. I love my husband, and he loved me too. I never doubted. One night early on, though, during shore leave, he came home after he'd been gone all night long. I did not take too kindly to that. And I said, "I am so alone when you're on the water. Now I've got to be alone when you're home too." But the man looked gray. How can a shiny brown man look gray? You might ask. But he did. Said he couldn't tell me nothing. But finally, he did say he'd seen my cat. And, well, he hugged me and kissed me and fussed over me. We didn't discuss much where he'd been or what he was doing that night or later ones, which I reasoned was just as well in case anybody asked me. "No, missus, expect you visiting. You say you like to feel up the land." I didn't sleep much on that. Well, I'm going away to leave you. Oh, shallow ground. But I never will deceive you. Oh, shallow ground. My Levi transported 7 of them books altogether. And he wasn't the only one. Some of his fellow shipmates, and even some white sailors. And them books were snatched up in the towns and port cities. And then plenty men like my daddy and other men who had roots in local ports and in them inland waterways, out to the outmost outlying and isolated plantations. They passed that book right along too. Why, in just 6 months, David Walker's appeal to the colored citizens was all up and down the East Coast. When I seen Levi and my daddy and my brothers and other men together, they had their own nothing that was something going on. No signals or head turns or handshakes, none of that. But they had a bond. You could see it if you was looking extra special. And even then, you was liable to miss or mistake it. Well, my master's gonna sell me, oh, shallow ground. Says he'll sell me to a Yankee, oh, shallow ground. Says he'll sell me for $1, oh, shallow ground. A big fat Spanish dollar, oh, shallow ground. Think I'll climb the chilly mountain, oh, shallow ground. Try to find a silver fountain,